These videos are brought to you by MSCCasino.com and the Macau Sporting Club. MSCCasino.com, check it out. Also, be sure to check out PF Painters and their website, pfpainters.com.
You are watching SportsMatters TV.
Okay, guys, welcome to SportsMatters TV in association with 𝗪𝗲 the podcast. And it doesn't get bigger than this. First of all, Mustafa, I'm a huge fan. We've had a great chat there a couple of weeks back. But listen, TNA, it's gone from strength to strength since you started to, I suppose, participate more in TNA. But listen, it's been a great couple of weeks for you.
Yeah, I'd say it's been a great couple, actually a year for me. I mean, I've been kind of on a roll here, but I appreciate you. Thanks for having me back on the show, Jerry.
Anytime, man. Now, listen, we have to speak about some big topics. One topic I want to get straight to, Bound for Glory. That is fast approaching. It is the biggest pay-per-view via TNA, October 12th. And you have an interesting match, my man.
Listen, I did not request this match. Let that be known. Santino Marella decided to come out and, wave his stupid badge around. Listen, the System versus Order 4, Hardcore War at Bound for Glory. Let me state this to the citizens of TNA. It's not that I'm worried about weapons. I'm not scared of weapons. I'm not scared of rolling up my sleeves, so to speak, and get dirty, as neither member of the Order 4 are. But my concern is why the System had to resort to such a violent match. Is it because they know that there's not one member in their little group that can hang with Mustafa Ali in the ring? Is that why? I mean, I've already beaten Brian Myers. I just defeated Moose. I'll take out JDC. I'll take out Eddie Edwards. None of them can hang with me in the ring. So this is what they do. This is what they resort to. They resort to baseball bats and trash cans and garbage. Literally, they're bringing real life garbage into the ring with them in hopes that will somehow even out the odds. But that's fine. They can bring all the weapons. All I need to bring is my personal weapon of mass destruction, Agent Zero, a man that's laid out Moose with one headbutt. So, System, I see the game you're playing. You will not win, my friends. You guys are playing checkers while I am playing chess. So at Bound for Glory, in front of the entire world, the biggest houses that TNA has ever had, I will finally put a permanent end to the god-awful System. And Order 4 will finally reign supreme. And I know that's what you want to see, right? That's what you want to see, Jerry, right?
It's what I want to see, but there's a bit of frustration also because we were hoping you'd go for the World Heavyweight Championship. You know what I mean? There's two scenarios. You know what I mean? There's two scenarios.
Yeah, I can tell you that you're not the only one. Listen, it's a huge night for TNA. So instead of whining over what could have been, I'm just going to say I told you so. The big topic of discussion is Trick Williams and Mike Santana. I hate saying his name. His name sounds disgusting. Mike Santana. Ugh. The sour taste in my mouth when I mentioned that individual. I am not rooting for Mike Santana. I know we're in the middle of this NXT versus TNA ordeal, and I just want to point this out that an outsider, a man that does not work here, I trust him more with the TNA World Championship than I do with one of our own. Because Mike Santana has a very troubled past, and this is what I try to warn everybody about. He is a man with demons. He's a man with addictions. He has let his family down. He let his family down. He's let past organizations and tag partners and friends, and he's let them all down. The weight of the world will be on him if, God forbid, if he becomes the world champion. He's going to crash. He's going to burn. And he's going to take TNA with us. And then everyone's going to look around and be like, what happened? What happened? Why didn't anybody warn us? I did. I warned all of you. So Don't get me wrong. This Tuesday at Showdown, I will be all about TNA dismantling NXT. But at Bound for Glory, should not have been Mike Santana in that position. It should have been one man and one man only, and it's in Ali we trust.
And you mentioned NXT. Look, we were blessed to see you back on the screens via WWE. Look, let's be honest. It's trending. It's still trending. It's a place you had so much success, but what did it feel like to I suppose, get back over to that platform? And listen, the fans haven't forgot.
Yeah, I mean, good for NXT making the phone call, right? It's a very unique story me coming back to address never getting my rightful match for the North American Championship. And like I mentioned before, this whole NXT TNA ordeal, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely rooting for the home base. I'm definitely rooting for TNA. But if you look at the complexity behind my situation and the North American Championship, it's kind of its own standalone story. It doesn't really need to be TNA versus NXT. And, all ego Ethan Page himself, a former TNA talent, myself, a former NXT talent. So when you take all that into the equation, it kind of just blurs the line that the story really quite simply is about a man that never got what it was owed. That's why I said the line that I said. I said, all ego Ethan Page doesn't owe me anything, but NXT does. I'm still owed this rightful one-on-one championship match. So I take great pride in that. Like within the myths of chaos and all these stars, look how star-studded this lineup is. But the one match that stands out, in my opinion, and what the fans have been saying, stands out the most is this very real, very I don't know, personal almost story about a guy that just didn't get what he earned. And that's why I feel like people are gravitating towards it. I'm sure someone somewhere feels like they should have gotten that promotion, or they should have gotten that raise, or they should have gotten that girl, or whatever it is. They feel like they did the right thing to earn something, but then some outside factor or someone just came in and took it for them. So it'll be a very interesting dynamic on Tuesday. I don't know if the crowd is going to be, the crowd was very pro Ali at the end of that promo once I kind of stated my cause and why I was there. But it would be interesting kind of going into enemy territory, trying to take one of their titles back home. So yeah, we'll see. Tune in Tuesday on Showdown and find out.
We can't wait. Now, one of the last times that we spoke, obviously, look, it was a different situation. Obviously, look, you had that appearance at TNA, the first appearance. We didn't know what was going to happen, but yet again, a lot of fans were pissed off. Obviously, we feel, look, WWE dropped the ball. Listen, politics, all this kind of stuff, but you didn't even have to redeem yourself, because your status is always, pound for pound when it comes to the world of wrestling. You've had a very good year, very, very good year. Some incredible matches. Your stock has gone from strength to strength. Now that comes down to many factors. Obviously, that you work hard, great determination. You know what I mean, a great mindset. So how would you rate your last 12 months? And, personally for you, what has it meant to you these past 12 months?
So this past year specifically has been probably the most satisfying year for me professionally. The story with Mike Santana, based around his sobriety and what I think would happen if he was to become world champion, was just highly raved and reviewed by fans and people in the back. The story of a WrestleMania rematch with Cedric Alexander and how I was able to incorporate these little mini stories about the Order 4 within it. Each person has their own personality now and their own character. And now going into this huge marquee match at Bound for Glory with the system who have been a staple of TNA for so many years. I'm really proud of that body of work, but I have to give the credit really to TNA for allowing me to bring these creative ideas to the table. The expression that I keep telling people is there's a lot of talented people, a lot of good hitters. But, in baseball, if you strike out, the blame is on you, right? But you have to be called up to bat. And I feel like that's one of the most frustrating things for a wrestler, is that when they don't get called up to bat. Like, if I went up and I pitched the Santana story and it sucked and I struck out, that's on me. But because I was allowed to come up to bat and hit a home run, that's why I was able to do the next story. So, as much as I appreciate everyone talking so kindly of me and telling me what a genius I am, I'll take it. But the real credit goes to the company and the writers and the producers trusting a talent like me to bring these ideas not only to paper, but then allowing me to, the opportunity to bring it to your screens. Because, I could do the coolest move and I can have the greatest idea, but if I do it when no one's looking, what does it really matter, right? You got to do it when the world's watching. So I feel like I've had such a successful year this year, mainly due to the fact that TNA has literally stepped to the side and said, do your thing.
And that's important. We've seen for so many years, as you probably know, a lot of restrictions. We've seen a lot of incredible wrestlers not having that freedom. But yet again, they're putting the trust into their superstars. And I think that's very important because we're seeing good wrestling, we're seeing good storytelling, great matches, good storylines. And 95% of that right now is coming from TNA. People are tuning in. People want to know where you can find it. It's important, and we're getting that. And it's down to the likes of yourself that has made that impact over these last, 12 months.
Well, thank you. I mean, this it's such a loaded roster. There's so many talented folks there. But I just, with the new regime coming in and really taking the marketing by the horns and redirecting and this partnership with NXT and bringing over, I think it's just a perfect storm. New regime, loaded roster, partnership with NXT. Packed houses started coming in. Huge success at Slammiversary, record-breaking gate for them. We're trying to do the same thing for Bound for Glory, really pushing the ticket sales, trying to break that 8,000 record. And I remember the first time I came to TNA like a year and a half ago or something like that. Like this was nowhere near. It was a couple hundred people, if that. Sometimes we look out like, man, like what's going on? So to see this turnaround, which is rather quick, a year and a half to going into one of the having record-breaking attendances. You have to realize this is the same company that would host Sting and Kurt Angle and Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, these major forces in professional wrestling, Hulk Hogan and whatnot. What I mean? Like these huge names at one time were here. So to do record-breaking numbers really means something and kind of shows the uprise of TNA. So yeah, definitely we're the ones rolling up our sleeves doing the work, but you still got to give credit for the people that set up that stage.
Definitely. We look at championships and we know in due course you're going to be a TNA World Heavyweight Champion. There's no doubt about it. But that's only a matter of time. But listen, Leon Slater, a guy from the UK, he's holding one of your old belts, that X Division Championship. What's your thoughts on Leon? Obviously, look, goes about his business. He's got great swagger, but obviously he's got to watch his back as well because I know you're hungry for gold.
Man, there's something about Leon, man. As much as I want to trash talk about him, I look at him like as a little brother. I met Leon a year and a half ago. I want to say at out there. I want to say it was for Progress Wrestling, and I was just blown away by his maturity and his ability to understand. And I won't get into like the details of it, but basically, I was running really late, and usually people for the first time they're a little nervous wrestling. Someone of my stature, I guess is the best way to put it. But Leon was just so calm, cool, and collected, and was a total pro beyond his years. And that's what really, yes, he does some incredible stuff. But I'm not doing the story justice because I'm kind of holding back some information. But within the confines of how we were, it was very rushed. He was such a pro, and I was just blown away. I'm like, hey, how old are you? And he told me, I think at the time, he's like 19 or something. And I kind of just threw my hands in the air. I'm like, oh man, if you're this well put together and calm and confident at this age, I can't wait to see what you do in the next couple of years. So I mean, not to take credit, but anyone that I could tell, I would tell him like, that's the guy. That's the guy you put stock in. A lot of guys kind of figured this stuff out. I go, you put him with the right people, you give him the right people in his ear, and you build him up. He'll be something. And again, not to take credit for it, but like, look what happened. The Hardys, surrounded him real quick, and there's a lot of people, influential people backstage that look out for him and talk to him. But it's on Leon too. He's so receptive. He's actively looking to get better. I'm someone he comes to, and he's someone that I go to. And I really respect his body of work. And the effort he puts in. And I said it the day I met him. I was like, he's going to be something special. And look, he already is. And at Bound for Glory, it's him and Javon Evans. He'll be a part of Showdown this Tuesday as well, representing Team TNA. And these are some huge, opportunities for him. I mean, he just made his WWE debut in the main event and won. So, yeah, I think the world of him. Does he hold something that, I made relevant again? Yeah, definitely. He's having a great year, but he wasn't on the cover of PWI like I was when I got the X Division Championship. And I think those record-breaking attendance records started to go up when I became champion. So, Leon's doing good for a young kid. I think the world of him. But him and I in the ring, I'll eat him up alive. He's a great guy. I think the world of him again. But if the X Division title is on line, a title that I made relevant again, I will take that away from him.
I like that, Mustafa. Now, the last question for me, my man. Listen, Every time we're blessed to have a TNA star on, we always preach. We always want more European events. We want to see TNA back in Ireland, back in the UK. You know firsthand what it's like on this side of the world, my man. But listen, I think we're getting steps closer to making these things happen again. You know, we've had a few in recent years, thankfully, after the long wait. But hopefully 2026, or maybe towards the end of this year, we'll have Mustafa Ali in Ireland, in the UK.
Oh my God, I would love that. Yes, absolutely. I think it's one of the few stops I did not make on my world tour last year. There was a few companies that had reached out, but I would love to bring TNA over at Carlos Silva, whatever his Twitter handle is. You all go flood that. Make Carlos Silva make it happen. All right. If you get Ireland, you want TNA, go find Carlos Silva on Twitter and just repeatedly tag him.
No, I love it. Listen, my man, it's an honor and a privilege as always. We'll catch up again in a couple of months' time, but looking forward to Bound for Glory and obviously NXT next week. It is going to be awesome. Listen, pound for pound, one of the greats, and we'll catch you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared.
Thanks, champ.